What is up, YouTubers and lovers of budget cars and bikes? If I'm being a little bit quiet today, that's purely because I'm stuck between the two walls of my houses here and I don't particularly want my neighbours to listen to my whinging. As I said, welcome back to another very short video on this little kind of twin series for this little Astra. Well, this Astra J that I bought. It's just a follow-up really, guys, on the first video to let you know exactly what's happened. And just like the day outside here in Cornwall, my mood is very grey and miserable. I've been on the phone to the salvage yard several times, and I've sent them several pictures of all this horribleness here, which they, you can really see that crack now, can't you? I mean, that wasn't obvious in the pictures that were on the listing for this car, so that was a bit of a disappointment. The wheel has gone utterly flat as a pancake, as you can see there. So my guess would be that they probably put some air in that tyre just literally to get it on the truck. There is a nice fat dent in that door there, just above the handle as well, which wasn't mentioned, and this lovely great big scratch, which I'm not sure the camera will pick up, but it's all the way down here. And there's another dent here, there's another great big scratch all the way down here. It goes all the way down, all the way down, all the way down to here, which wasn't mentioned. It was, excuse me, it was front damage, basically, they said, which is a bit of a con because it's obviously front damage and near side damage. And obviously I've sent them pictures of this, but I'm not quite sure if I was able to show you quite how bad that crease is there in that pillar. I mean, bear in mind that pillar's supposed to be up here, just like that one there. That's how it's supposed to look. And obviously that is not very good and not a Cat N cosmetic write-off. So, I mean, the guys on the phone at the auction house did basically say, look, we don't class them. They're classed by images now, and they don't take off bumpers to have a look at these things. But as you can see, you wouldn't have to take off the bumper. The grille is non-existent. So, you just look there and there it is. They have basically, well, the guy that's in charge, apparently, and coincidentally, he wasn't there this week, and he is back tomorrow. This is coming on a Sunday now, so he's back tomorrow, and they're going to call me to tell me what they're going to do about it. The guy on the phone said, look, I know the guy. He's probably not going to do a damn thing about it. He said, but I'll ask him. I'll show him all the pictures, and I'll ask him, but I doubt if he's going to do anything. And, well, that's where we are, state of play at the moment as well. Obviously, as I've said in the first video, the engine light's on, the windscreen's gone. That they call this apparently a chassis tower, I believe, because it comes up and it supports the rad pack up there, as you can see. Or it doesn't support bugger all at the moment, of course. I've had a couple of guys come round, a couple of body shops come round, and they've looked at it and said, look, Dan, this should have been a total write-off, really, because, the amount of money it's going to cost. I've been quoted up to £3,000 to get this car back to the way it should be. Now, bearing in mind it only cost me £1,000, the car's probably worth between £3,500 and £4,000. There's no money in it. It's just a complete piss take. You'd be better off scrapping it and selling the parts, because the engine's only on 76,000 miles. You'd probably get 500 quid for that. You'd probably get 200 quid for the set of wheels because they're in very good nick. You'd get another couple of hundred quid for the interior because it's the SRI, and then you've got doors, tailgate and bumper. You'd probably get your £1,000 back. The good news is I have actually sold it. I put it up on eBay and I sold it for a sum total of 795 quid. And the guys, well, I preempted it that they're not going to do anything at the auction house, basically, and I sold it on eBay for 800 quid plus 200 quid shipping to a guy in Swansea who's obviously got more skills than I have and doesn't have to pay to have all this done. Because if you were going to do all this yourself, as in if you can straighten all this out and you've got good access to breakers yards and you can paint, then I reckon about 1,500 quid would probably get this back in the road. So £2,500, there's still £1,000 profit minimum. So that's great. I can't do that because I've got to pay people to paint, and I've got to pay somebody to pull that out or put a new one in, because apparently that little tower I was telling you about, that's bolted in, but it's also welded in. I don't know if you can see the bolts. I'll see if I can point them out. It's bolted in here, but it's also welded. You can unweld it and you can take those bolts off, and you can buy the part from Vauxhall, apparently. But again, I'm not getting into that. I just want to get my ass out of this horrific experience that I've had and move on, basically. I have got another car coming next week, so I need the space, as you can see. And as I said, the guy's supposed to be turning up tomorrow to take this away just after lunchtime on a Monday afternoon. But If by some kind of miracle the auction house says, no, Dan, you're perfectly right, it's a complete bag of crap, here's your money back, then I'll just call the guy that won it and give him his money back and explain the situation. And obviously that would be a better result for me in that respect, because otherwise I'm going to lose 400 quid for no fault of my own. I mean, it literally came in, drove down this driveway, sat here, I threw 400 quid out into the garden, and then somebody took it away, which isn't really ideal, is it? I mean, I know you win and you lose and all the rest of it. But it was nothing to do with me. I mean, there's no way that I could have seen that, and I'm so close to calling this as an insurance scam, because there's no bloody way that there can be classed by anybody. A monkey could see that is not a Cat N cosmetic damaged car, is it? Let's be serious. And they should take some responsibility, the auction house as well, because they don't mention the cracked windscreen, they don't mention the scratch that goes all the way down the near side, they don't mention the engine light, which actually wasn't on in the pictures for the listing when I bought it, so that's another balls up. There obviously was a puncture because they blew it full of air just to get it on the trailer and then get it off. The clutch, as we know, is completely mullered, so it doesn't start and drive like it pertains to here in this little thingy they put on the back there. They say it starts and drive. It starts, yeah, it actually sounds pretty good, but it doesn't move very well. So yeah, all right, I suppose to a fashion it drives, but you couldn't actually really drive it. But, you know, you could fix all this and then you'd still have to put a new clutch in it, which I'm led to believe is a DMF clutch, which means you're looking at what, 500-700 quid for that? So, you know, it's just pointless, isn't it? You could throw all your money in the world at this car and it'd be great afterwards, but it'd owe you more than the car's worth by a lot. So, you know, that's not an ideal situation. Anyway, that's the catch up. I will let you know in a future video how I got on with this, whether I had to ship it out to Swansea or whether the salvage company rather actually did the right thing and gave me the money back on this. We'll see. I mean, someone's at fault here. As I said, either the insurance company pulled a scam here to try and get more money by calling it a Cat N, because obviously you get more money for a Cat N because it's an easy fix, or the salvage yard have screwed me over, and I don't know which way to go, because as I said, they should have mentioned the windscreen, the engine light's on and it wasn't in the pictures, there's all those scratches down the side and it doesn't really drive very well. So I think they're both at fault, and if the salvage company basically tell me to piss off, I am probably not going to use them again, which is such a shame, because they're only 30 quid delivery, because they're only 20 miles away from where I live. Anybody who knows where I live will know exactly who I'm talking about, but obviously for legal reasons I don't want to kind of mention any names. And it will be a shame, as I said, but I've got another car coming from Cinetic again, but in Exeter, a company called Hills, which I've heard relatively good stories about, so we'll see how that works out. So watch out for that video, that'll be coming up in the next few weeks. Anyway, that's a catch up on this. As usual, if you enjoy these kind of videos, then consider subscribing, give the video a thumbs up. I mean, you know, I might make a couple of quid on this video to go towards the loss I'm going to make on this car. Alright guys, as I said, just a catch up and a quick kind of, you know, hello, and you'll see me, and as I said, I'll give you an update on exactly what happened with this and how much I lost or didn't in a future video. Alright guys, thanks for watching.